Okay, this is a little tutorial on how to paint glass with pastels. I have my little blue bowl here in a still life stage. And the main thing about a still life stage is it affords a consistent light source, one light source. So you don't have to have as elaborate a setup as this, of course, but keep in mind that you want to try to set up whatever you're painting with the one consistent light source. So that's what you're after with the still life stage. We're going to keep this really simple. This bowl has this ellipse that I'm going to be concerned about, but as I'm really focusing on how to paint glass, I want to get the transparency. I want to get the highlights. I want to get the quality of glass. That's what I'm mostly concerned about, the thickness of the glass. So although I'm going to try to get my ellipse nice in here, that's not my focus. So I'll just kind of go ahead and try to get it kind of there. That's not too bad. Just draw through. Whenever I'm drawing, I just want to think about drawing through, and that's not too bad. So I'll go ahead and get a feel for the cast shadow in this guy. So something like that. Okay, so that's enough on drawing, really. It's pretty simple little guy here. So the first thing that I want to do is think about what is the overall value and hue of my blue bowl. So I'm going to come in with something kind of in the middle. And, I think something just about there is going to do that for me. So I'm going to come in the whole shape and just kind of mop that in. And as you can see, I went outside the lines of my drawing a little bit. I'm not worried about that. I can restate my drawing. In fact, I'm going to have to. So that's okay. Next, I want to think about, there's a little bit of a cast shadow side. And I want something kind of rich. Love the color in this. So that first stick was a little bit gray. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to think about having a shadow side to this bowl. And then I'm going to come around on this other side because it's transparent and get something here. Now, the next thing I want to think about is that cast shadow. And I want it's on the white tablecloth here. So I want to keep it luminous. I want it to have some color to it as well. Color is bouncing into that cast shadow. So one of the things that it's real easy to do is make that cast shadow a little too dark. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to start out with this lavender because there's a little bit of a warmth to the light that's hitting, and then there's the blue from the bowl. So I make a good case for starting out with something a little bit lavender in that cast shadow. Now it's kind of the middle of where I want that cast shadow. So I think that's not too bad. Now next I want to think about the background because we're building relationships. I really don't know what's going on with these values until I have that background in. So that's the next thing I'm going to head to. And I want it to be on the warm side, so I think I'm going to head to a little bit of a warm yellow. Might be a little too light. We'll see. And I'm going to keep the cast shadow, the edges kind of soft, and the edge of the bowl a little bit harder. Feeling like this is a little bit too yellow, but I'm going to live with it to begin with and see what happens. Come along here. I'm not too worried about, you know, I'm losing that nice ellipse I had, but I'm not too worried about it because I'm always going to be able to come back in and restate. Now see how much that changed all the relationships? Look at how dark the bowl looks. So the bowl is on the dark side, so I think, you know, it's not too bad. All right, so now I want to get some even darker darks in my bowl. So I'm going to come along the edge. So the thickness of the rim of the bowl, it's thicker glass. So I can come along here, and now I get to restate my ellipse. That's kind of nice. It's got some kind of reflections in there. There's a little thickness on the bottom of the bowl. So that's pretty good. So now I want to say a little bit more about the color in there. So, because I've pretty much got just the blue. So I want to bring in, there's some other color bouncing around. So I'm going to bring in some purple. Just kind of adds a little more to what I've got going on. I also see some other color bouncing around. There's a little bit of kind of yellow bouncing into the glass. So I'm going to make a case for that too. And there's some lighter areas. Just spending a little bit of time, a little close observation of what's in front of me. And I've got a little reflected light on this side that I want to say something about. So I think I'm going to use some aqua to say that right along here. That's kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to come back in with some of this original color that I had. It's kind of a little bit of blending going on there, might say. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now, my cast shadow, I want a little bit of darker area underneath there. Because I want, right now my cast shadow is kind of one-dimensional. So I'm going to come along here. So what this does, it automatically brings out that reflected light. That's kind of fun. That's good. Get in there with some other color. All right, now I want to work on that background a little bit because I feel like that's kind of the thing that's one-dimensional now. So I'm going to bring in some light pink in here. It actually is going to gray that down just a little bit. This edge to be kind of soft. Actually, it's more lavender than pink. I'm sorry. I want something a little pinker than that. Make sure my cast shadow is kind of laying flat. I had it kind of going uphill. Get right in here to the edges. Okay, now I'm going to bring some more blue into that cast shadow. Not supposed to blow. Okay, there would be a little bit more blue reflecting into it. That's nice. Okay. Now, the thing that's going to really make this look like glass is we need some highlights. Right now it kind of looks a little flat. So some highlights are going to really pop this. All right, So I'm going to head to some really light blue rather than white, at least to start out with, right? Especially inside the bowl. I don't want to be too bright because I'm looking through the layers of glass. And I also don't want to overdo this. I really don't. I don't need to. But that really starts to give us the flavor of glass. Again, we don't need to overdo it. I want to say the most with the least, right? I want a little more thickness down here at the bottom of the glass. Even want, I want this a little bit darker in my cast shadow, just a tiny bit. I'm gonna clean up that edge. And again, these little lights, highlights in when I'm looking through the layers. These are these little lights don't need to be white, they can be blue. Now see, it's very, very subtle, but it's there. There's a little light right on the rim here. So I'm gonna bring in some aqua, and I'm gonna use a little bit of a broken line to do it. I don't need to rim the whole thing. That's a little much, so I'm gonna get rid of some of that. Okay. I think it's looking good. All right. I lost a little bit of that kind of gold right here, so I'm gonna restate that. I liked that. Now you can see my drawing's a little bit off. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. I think the main thing is that you know, I feel like I've got the quality of the glass, the reflections. I've done it pretty simply, kept it pretty simple. I've got a nice variety of color in there. I feel like my cast shadow is pretty luminous. Definitely want that. Some kind of soft edges. Maybe something is going on the edges of the cast shadow. Maybe a little bit more warmth on the edge of the cast shadow might be fun. So just a little more with the yellow. I'm gonna bring this over here a little bit. Just restate the shape of that just a little bit. Okay, I'm liking it. And I want just one more thing. I want to bring a little bit idea of some reflection over here. That's a little much, so I'm gonna just went a little overboard on that. It's okay. It's a great thing about pastel. Okay. Maybe a little bit down there. Okay. I don't want to get carried away. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Seeing one more thing I want to do. It's too much fun. Just a little more idea of some light inside the bowl, right here at the base. I think that's nice. Okay. All right, guys, I think that's about it. Have fun with it. Keep it simple, and I hope this was helpful. Okay. Hi there, thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us out. And click the bell icon to get notifications. We have lots more coming for you.